You hear your friends telling you it's a brutal job market right now. I mean, submitting 500 resumes and hearing crickets, going for 9 rounds of interviews and still not getting the job. And, all the layoffs that you're hearing about. And you might be thinking, now is not the right time for me to be in the market. That may be the right decision for you. But what you don't want to do is be caught short. You have time now to prepare for your job search, either because you decide that it's time or, unfortunately, an organization decides for you. And you want to be ready. Hi, I'm Shelley Piedmont, a former recruiter turned career coach, and I get it. The economy looks shaky, and you might decide, ooh, now is not the time for me to be in the market. But you want to be prepared when you decide the time is right. And you've got time now. So it's important for you to be strategic. So I have 10 things that you can do right now that will help you when you do decide to go into the job market. It will make it easier, it will make it faster, and it will make it less stressful. The first strategy is starting an accomplishment file. So I want this to be immediate, not 6 months from now, but starting today and every month. You are gathering data, you're gathering notes, you're gathering information about what you have accomplished. Why this is important is oftentimes when you go to write your resume, you draw a blank. I've seen this so many times with my clients. We start to talk about accomplishments and they can't think of them. That makes it tough to write a resume, especially one that's compelling. So you need to start collecting this information. I don't care if it's in a Google Docs, a Word doc, put a note on your phone, you write it down in a notebook, doesn't matter. You need to start collecting it and put a calendar note for you each month that you're going to go back and look over that previous month and put that information in. Now, what are you going to put in this file? Well, you can put anything in, but think about it. Have you increased sales? Have you decreased costs? Have you helped a client? Have you gotten a note back from somebody that you did a great job? Did you fix a process? Did you complete a project? Whatever it is, write it down. You're going to have a goldmine of information to tell a compelling story about why you will be valuable to that organization. Strategy number 2 is get focused on a target. Now, this is one that many job seekers skip over, and it is so crucial to a successful job search. It's like your GPS. It doesn't work unless you put in where you want to go. It's the same with your job search. You need to think about what roles do you want to pursue? What industries do you want to work in? What companies align with that? It's best to do this now when you have a little bit of headspace to really consider this. Now is the time to do this. You don't want to wait until you start your job search and then either skip this and you're applying to 500 random jobs. You don't want to do that. Or maybe you're laid off and you're very emotional and you feel like I got to do something, and you skip this step, which is so crucial because you need to know what your target is. That will help you because then you'll know, what information do I need to collect? Who do I need to talk to? What kind of skills do I need to, improve upon? You can start working on those things now. And then by the time you start your job search, then you will be farther ahead. If you like this content, I always appreciate hitting the like button and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It really helps. Strategy number 3 is reactivate your network. Okay, I know for many people, this is a tough one. You might not want to do it, but now is the best time to do it because you're not asking for a job. So you don't need to feel, icky about it. What you're doing is going back to old colleagues. You're going back to people you went to school with. people that you've lost touch with. And you're going to send a simple message. I was thinking of you. How are you doing? Would you like to catch up? And then it's a conversation you can have that there's no big stakes to it. You just want to find out what they're up to, and you can tell a little bit about yourself. Now, if you want to talk about the fact that you might be interested in getting in the job market in the future, yeah, you can go ahead and do that. It does help you in terms of if they come across something, they might think of you, and that would be nice. But really what you're trying to do is rebuild that relationship. Offer to give them support in whatever way that is helpful to them. The fact that you've made the effort means that when you get back in the job market, then they'll be more, helpful to you and want to help you, because they will know that it isn't transactional. It is because you truly want to build that relationship, and they then want to help you. Strategy number 4, that is clean up your social media. You might be on a lot of social media sites, and that's going back years. So this is a great time to do an audit and look at anything that, you wouldn't want a recruiter or a hiring manager to see, and delete that. Did you go on a rant a few years back about a manager that you had? Or did you have a picture out there that maybe you're not quite proud of? Go ahead and delete those out now. Yes, your hiring team will look at your social media and they will make judgment on you. So go ahead, and anything that you don't feel comfortable that you want to share with that hiring team, delete that out now. Strategy number 5 is revive your LinkedIn profile. Hey, I know a lot of you haven't been on LinkedIn since the last time you updated your job. Now is the time to get back in there and clean things up. So what should you focus on? Well, you want to update your experience section with any additional jobs or accomplishments. You want to put them in there. You want to make sure you're updating all your skills. You can put up to 100 now. So go through that list and think about the roles you want, the industries you want, and what skills align with them. And make sure you're updating your headline. I know a lot of you still have your title at your company, and you can do so much more. Show your value. What is it that you do well that others will want? Make sure you have that in there. Now, LinkedIn is more than just a digital resume. It is a social media site, and it rewards people for being active on the platform. What happens is when you are active, the algorithm knows that, and it helps bump you up in things like search. So, go on a few times a week. You don't have to go on for long, maybe 10, 15 minutes, and start commenting on interesting posts. That will show you are active on the platform, and that will be helpful for you, as visibility does help every job seeker on that platform get found by the people who are doing the hiring. Strategy number 6 is research your market value. Yeah, you need to know what your value is for the positions you are looking at. And this is really important because you don't want to wait until you are in an interview and they ask that question and you're like, well, I don't know. Start looking now. You can go to glassdoor.com, payscale, salary.com, and start getting a feel for what it would look like in terms of what you can expect for compensation in the market currently. This does 2 things for you. 1, you can see if you are being underpaid at your current employer. If you find that out, you may want to, move up the date that you're looking to go into the job market. The second thing is, obviously, it will help you with your negotiations so that you know where you want to target in terms of opportunities, locations, etc. And you'll be in a stronger position because you will have this information. Strategy number 7 is identify and fill gaps. Now, you already have looked at what roles you're interested, what industries you're interested, what organizations you're interested in, and that's going to give you information as to whether there's any gaps in your knowledge, your skills, or your experience. Now is the time to start working on them. Do you need to learn a software? Do you need to get a certification? Do you need to improve some of your people skills? Identify which ones are going to be the most important for you to focus on. And now is the time to take a course or to ask for a stretch project or to volunteer or work on a community project, whatever it might be, so that when it comes time for you in the job market and they are looking for that skills, this knowledge, that expertise, you don't have to fudge it or try to change the subject. You can talk about what you've done and what you've done recently to improve upon those skills. And that can put you above your competition. Strategy number 8 is build your portfolio. Now, this is going to be applicable to some roles and some industries, but if you can get work samples of like websites you've done, presentations that you've given, case studies, project summaries, anything that shows work samples, this can be very powerful. Now, you do need to be, careful of any confidential information or intellectual property. So you might not be able to give everything, but maybe an overview of it, whatever details that you can within the confines of what you're allowed to do. Imagine you're in an interview and you're talking about a project you've done and you think, you know what? I can show this person what I've done. And you pull out information from your portfolio. Do you think that's not going to impress the interviewer? I guarantee it will. Strategy number 9 is follow companies and industry leaders. Now is the time for you to start looking at companies that you're interested in and start following them. You're doing research. You want to, if they have a blog or newsletter or anything else that they're publishing, you want to get on that list because you want to learn about that organization, what they're doing, what the future looks like, what the challenges are. That will be great information. Also, any industry leaders, follow them on LinkedIn, watch YouTube videos of their interviews. If you can't even, have conversations with them online, commenting on things that they've done, that increases your visibility and you will learn about, the industry. That's information that you can take to your interviews. Because what you want to do is come across as somebody who is serious, who really understands the organization or the industry, and not just somebody who decided to apply yesterday and is looking for a job. No, you want to show you're the professional and you are interested in their challenges and their successes because you want to be able to show value to them that you can help them in their business. And the last strategy is line up your references. I know this is an afterthought for many, many people, but now's a great time to reach out to that old manager you've had or the colleague from another organization and tell them that you're not looking right now, but you're thinking that that's something that might be coming up soon and asking if they would be a reference for you. You want to get their okay and you want to get a sense of what they're going to say about you. You do not want anyone on that list that you are unsure is going to give you anything but a stellar reference. So you can kind of see how things are. And if you're not sure, you can start looking for other people. But you want to make sure that you vet them now, as well as make sure that you have their current contact information. You don't want to be scrambling when an employer is asking for references and you don't know where somebody is. This will give you time to get all of that in order so you will not have to stress about it. So there you have it. 10 strategies to help you prepare for when you decide to do your job search. Now, I know that right now, it looks pretty difficult out there in, job search land. We're hearing all about, all these companies that are laying off, that people are going for months and months and not being able to find a job. So if you have a job right now, this is a great time, while you don't have the pressure of being in the market right now, to do these things. I can tell you that the people who are doing well in this job market, what they're doing is preparing strategically. They are thinking through their positioning. and they are building those relationships authentically. You have the luxury of a little bit of time. And I can tell you that your future self, whether that's a few months from now or a few years from now, is going to thank you for being prepared and doing all of this ahead of time.